Let's get started. Let me cover a few of the housekeeping. Okay. So, as always, make sure you go and stream and listen to the music and that you head over to my website, amethyst.wordpress.com. That is where you'll find my lyrics and all things Amethyst Amaris. So that's where my products will exclusively be at as well. Sure. But that's where my products will be at. And then we have the AI website, tropicofqualia.wordpress.com. Tropic de Qualia, and that is where the AI content is, and that's where my graphic novels will be. I also started releasing my anime footage on YouTube, so that's where that content will go as well as my other websites too, because of the content that it is covering. But that is for mature audiences only. And then we have the Panacea Cafe website as well. That is the blog, and that is where we have all holistic content and also introspective workshop and just information and inputs and things like that as well. Okay. And and also, so I just finished Harmony workbook for this month of May. So that is available for starting at $2. Then you can pay what you want. In this presentation, you're going to be seeing me showing the links that you can go to for that, and also the replay link that you can go to as well. That's where you can pay for all the replays. All the workshops from last month are available in the workbook for the $2, okay? It's available, but I have it set up where it's many different options. You can either pay $11.11 for the workshop replay, or you can go ahead and you can also pay $22.22 for the premium ones. Those are for the ones that are made available on YouTube. So what we're doing is we're donating for the efforts of making this content so readily available for people. Just making it accessible, making it possible to do these workshops and everything, and being able to get all this information and all these lessons out there. So I have so many different payment methods. I do have these videos up on YouTube unlisted. We only have the three intros. Those ones are available. So last week we did not do the Thursday workshop. The reason being is actually I was doing a practice run for this week's workshop, where I will be doing an interview with Tavis from Indigenous Education. So I'm extremely so grateful. I'm so excited. We're going to have an elating conversation. I am just absolutely thrilled and so grateful for this opportunity. It's a dream come true. We have a lot to learn. So that'll be this Thursday. So I invite you guys to all come out for that. And tomorrow we have our land stewardship workshop, that is artists in finding financial freedom in trees. So we had our intros that we did, but we didn't get that one Thursday workshop. But this week we have a full week of workshops. We have a lot of things to cover. We have a lot of things to do. And today's going to be a little different. So today is going to be a little different. It is record producing B2B week 2. I got really great response on the replays, and a lot of great feedback. Yeah, for last week's workshop and everything like that. Like I said, March we did songwriting and beat making, so we were able to show that kind of aspect with it. Really just showing like what we're doing, capable of, but this is the business side of it. And I'm such a holistic minded person. When I'm saying the business side of it, when we're showing the business side of it, there's also a lot of things that I've learned in the industry, my time being in the industry. And I've had people reach out to me in particular, as artists that are either were signed to majors or even executives like A&Rs that were signed to major labels, and they're not with them anymore, or they had a manager and they're not with that person anymore. There is a lot of conversations around those things happening, and we don't speak about the recovery of that and how to then move into the next process. So that's something that I'm going to be including in this particular workshop, and navigating that. I want to be able to give the answer so we can go ahead and we can audit our businesses and that we can do things for our record labels and our music journeys and everything like that. But I also want to give you the tools to really navigate this industry a little differently. So that way we're harmonized, we're illuminated, we're able to be authentic, and we're actually able to do the things that we want to do, and we're not being exploited for it. Another disclaimer, and I have a ton of disclaimers all throughout this, but I am not anti-label, not anti-label at all. I have many, many, many friends that work for the big three labels. So, and even independent labels and everything like that. So I'm not anti-label. I'm just saying that out the gate. But I am anti extortion. I am anti exploitation. I am anti colonization. Okay. So let's just leave it at that. And then let's get into this here workshop. Okay. So we have record producing B2B on May Mondays. Okay. So what we're covering today, we're going to cover more music industry glossaries. So we're going to go into like the info and stuff. Last workshop, I gave you guys a glossary, and that glossary will actually be available in the end of this presentation, right? But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding like little tidbits of industry know-how and explaining things and going to details, okay? This particular table of contents is in no particular order. So I can't say fast forward to this part, fast forward to that. No. If you do find yourself in a topic that you don't feel completely okay with, just fast forward through it. We are going to cover like a tidbit of things that some might consider heavy. So again, but again, like I said, this table of contents is in no direct order. We're going to cover royalties in the USA. I'm pretty sure I'll be in the middle of this workshop. Okay. Hopping the fence, we'll go over that. Anyone that is from Toronto and Caribana perceives this a little bit differently. And the energy battle of the music industry. Okay. And what's next? Alrighty. Some AI art from my graphic novels and animes. Okay, let's close this down so I can do some reading. Okay. All right, so workshop disclaimer, purpose, and scope. Okay, this workshop is designed to discuss topics such as energy harnessing, soul tethering, financial exploitation, creative manipulation, emotional and psychological abuse, and sexual exploitation in the music industry. It combines educational and informational purposes, blending personal experiences with professional business practices. Professional expertise and background. Having been exposed to the music industry since the age of 14, I bring a unique perspective shaped by both my personal experiences as a survivor of exploitation and my professional endeavors as a label owner, former freelance A&R, and artist manager. These roles have provided me with an in-depth knowledge of the industry's operational, strategic, and contractual aspects, equipping me to offer both sound business advice and insights into personal recovery and empowerment. Nature of content. The content of this workshop integrates personal insights with established industry practices, while the spiritual and energetic practices discussed may not be universally endorsed. They are presented alongside and tried and true music business strategies that I have personally utilized and benefited from. This workshop is structured to offer a holistic approach, addressing both the personal and professional challenges artists may face in the music industry, audience engagement, and responsibility. Participants are encouraged to engage with an open mind and to critically assess how the information presented might be applicable to their own careers and personal lives. It is essential to view the provided information as a supplement to professional advice, and participants should independently verify and adapt these strategies to suit their specific situations. Liability. Reliance on any information provided during this workshop is at your own risk. I am not liable for any direct or indirect consequences that may arise from the application of this information. The workshop is designed to empower and inform, providing a comprehensive guide for navigating both personal and professional development in the music industry based on over 2 decades of industry experience. Okay, so adding that disclaimer, I am, very grateful, and I've learned a lot from being in the music industry for literally over 2 decades now. It's amazing to me. And I said to myself, if longevity brings it, then I can actually get to teach about these things that I experienced within the industry as well, and things that I learned about working with some pretty major artists as well. Okay. Okay. I choose to use the platforms I have to speak on things I wish were available to me along my journey, but were only made available to me through experience or the people I've met, the books slash scripts I've read, and the conversations I've had. I realized this dialogue wasn't readily available like once in 2013, ahead of the times when I decided to relay the wisdom I could only find in the most hidden of places, but are now entrenched into our human experience today. So, holistic wellness, astrology, all the things that I was kind of teaching that was a little, uh, quackery a little while ago, are pretty entrenched in the human experience right now. Okay. Alrighty, some more AI art. And now let's get into it. Okay, understanding complex contracts in the music industry, overview of key contract terms, royalties, payments for the use or sale of music. Types include mechanical royalties from physical or digital reproductions, performance royalties from public performances or broadcasts, synchronization royalties from music used in visual media, advances definition upfront payments against future royalties. Key point. Advances are recoupable, not free money. Rights, focus areas, master recordings, and publishing rights. Impact. Control over these rights influences revenue streams from all uses. Term length. Explanation, the duration of the contract. Consideration, long terms can restrict career flexibility and growth. Deciphering legal language in perpetuity, which is really funny to me because I have a song called Overthrow where I say, lock me in perpetuity, no talent, he got 2 left feet, no telling who I'm going to be. So that's really, really funny to me. um, Me recording that last week, I think I did it like 2 Fridays ago, but 2 Fridays ago. So in perpetuity means indefinitely. Beware of signing rights away forever. Exclusivity limits working only with a specific label or entity. Options allows the label to extend the contract under existing terms for more albums or a time. Role of an independent lawyer. Translation and simplification converts legal jargon into understandable terms. Advocacy and negotiation. I am going to continue to repeat this throughout the workshop is do not use the labels lawyer. Do not use the labels lawyer. I've had so many executives, some executives I'm still good with to this day, I'm still friends with, um, and they would go ahead and not out of malicious intent, just because that's how things are done. And, like, why would you not trust me? Would suggest, to use the labels lawyer. I'm not going to use the labels lawyer. Okay. I'm going to use my own entertainment lawyer. Okay. Again, advocacy and negotiation ensures fair balance in contract terms, improves contract conditions such as royalties, term lengths, and recoupment terms. Okay. So let's close me down for a second. Okay, retaining your master's importance and strategy. Okay, importance of retaining your master's, control over over music. Owning your master recordings gives you ultimate control over the use and distribution of your music. This means you can decide how your music is sold, streamed, or licensed, and you directly benefit from these revenues. Long-term revenue. Retaining masters is crucial for long-term financial stability. You continue to earn from your recordings indefinitely, rather than ceding most profits to a label. Negotiating for master rights. Establish value. Demonstrate your market value through your fan base, streaming numbers, or previous sales to argue why you should retain your masters. Strong evidence of your market appeal increases your leverage. And again, this is very general. You can actually attract a label just basically by being you. That is really important to note. Me, I marketed artists and I worked with artists for so long. And one of the things that I was always asked from labels was, when are you going to do music? When are you going to do this? And it was because of my demeanor and my presentation, So they're just like, I've never even heard you make music before, but you look like you can make music. So offer trade-offs. If retaining full ownership is challenging, consider licensing your masters to the label for a limited time or limited number of albums. After this period, the masters revert to you. Now, we have to be careful with these kind of contracts where we're like, you know what, I'll give you my rights to these next 5 projects. And then when we're in conversation, then they decide in a contractual obligation that you have to make 5 albums and they get to decide what those albums are. That's not what we're doing here. We're not going to do that. No one's going to decide for you what your next 5 albums are. And the thing is of course, there needs to be some form of accountability for artists to be giving the labels quality product and something that will actually make the money back and actually promise them something. But that it should be in good faith. We should look at it and say, look, you guys, if you back me up properly, if you have the right faith in me, come on, let's go. Okay. So crafting mutually beneficial non-recoupable contracts. Non-recoupable advances flexibility in return. Instead of traditional advanced recoupment, propose higher royalty rates or a profit sharing model once certain revenue benchmarks are met. This can assure the label of potential high returns while safeguarding your immediate earnings. Additional leverage points. Joint ventures. Propose a joint venture for specific projects where both parties invest and share in the profits. This can be particularly appealing for side projects or special editions. Performance bonuses include clauses that reward financial bonuses for surpassing certain sales or streaming thresholds. This not only incentivizes the label to promote your work more aggressively, but also aligns their interests with yours. Building trust with the label, transparency, regularly share data and insights about your audience and market performance. Transparency fosters trust and can lead to more favorable terms and negotiations. Collaborative marketing efforts. Propose a co-developed marketing plans that align with your brand and appeal to your fan base, ensuring that promotional efforts are effective and mutually beneficial. Creative control. Negotiate clauses that ensure you have significant creative control over your music and branding, which demonstrates your commitment to maintaining a high quality output. Long-term relationship building. Revenue sharing models. Consider revenue sharing models on certain streams of income like merchandise or touring, which can be less risky for labels and more profitable for you in the long run. Now, in the aspect of thinking about this, what is really important is drop shipping, drop shipping, drop shipping. You come up with your design. It is not doesn't take too much out of you. And this can be your negotiation. You say sales out of drop shipping. I won't do anything but drop shipping. So that way, nobody is saying that they had to buy products for you and then that's coming out of your deal. We're not doing that. Drop shipping. Okay. So label services agreement. Instead of a traditional record deal, negotiate a label services agreement where you pay the label for specific services like distribution and marketing while retaining more rights and control over your music. By focusing on these strategies, you create a framework where both the artist and the label have vested interest in the success of the music, fostering a partnership that is based on trust and mutual benefit. This approach not only secures more favorable terms for the artist, but also builds a sustainable and collaborative relationship with the label. Okay, so like I said, we're not anti-label over here. We're just anti-exploitation and colonization, okay? The importance of non-recoupable deals in music contracts. Okay, advocating for non-recoupable deals. Definition of non-recoupable deals: agreements where any advances or payments made to the artist do not have to be paid back out of future earnings. Key advantages: artists keep all future royalties earned from their music, ensuring a direct and full benefit from their creative work. Why choose a non-recoupable deal? And this is a deal that even Wendy Day has suggested, okay? This is the kind of deals that we cultivate. And remember, a deal is a deal. You are making a deal. So every single aspect of it, you are going over, and this is how you actually negotiate, okay? These are all your negotiation tactics, okay? So why choose non-recoupable deals? Financial freedom. Non-recoupable deals provide artists with financial security as they are not under pressure to earn back the advance from their royalties. Creative autonomy. With financial pressures minimized, artists can focus on creative expression without the constraint of commercial success dictating their artistic choices. Negotiating non-recoupable deals. Leverage. To negotiate non-recoupable deals, artists need strong leverage, which can come from proven track records, strong fan bases, or unique artistic value. Like I mentioned before, like you could just be that guy, and you might not have a following or anything. So don't let metrics scare you away or confuse you as to what your worth is. Okay, legal representation essential for negotiating terms that favor the artist. A knowledgeable lawyer can argue the case for non-recoupable advances based on the artist's potential and past earnings. Case for non-recoupable deals, risk and reward. While these deals pose higher initial risk for labels and investors, they can attract high-quality artists who wish to maintain greater control and ownership over their work. Think about it. A label would not be opposed to this when you have an artist that writes music, can dance, can perform, can produce, can compose, can do all these things, and maybe has way more hand over their artwork and has way more. Even we have some artists that write books, have things to come to the table, like an artist like myself, right? If I were to go ahead and make a deal with a label, I speak to like executives that I work all the time where the same people I've shopped artists to, and we speak about more so music video deals for me, little tiny deals, little services that they can provide me rather than me getting signed to them. I rather just little tiny services that they can help me along. So long-term partnerships. Labels investors can view non-recoupable deals as investments in an artist's long-term potential rather than immediate returns, fostering more sustainable and mutually beneficial relationships. Okay. So here in this part of the presentation, you're going to see that for my WordPress, I put the links. So this is right here. This is for the recaps and replays, okay? And here is the workbook, the finale, okay? This will support you for this month and support you and recap the last 2 months, okay? And like I said, the April workshops are all available in that for $2. Pay what you want after that if you want to do donations. And if that's not enough for you and you want to donate, you find our work interesting, we do have the replays accessibility for $11.11 and $22.22 for the premium content that is already made available on YouTube, but these are donation tiers. Okay, so here I'm going to turn my sound on. And I'm going to play you guys this video that I've made with all of the AI technologies combined, okay? And this is kind of like moving to the next topic, okay?
The concept of dark frequency music taps into the profound influence that sound can exert on human emotion, mental state, and physical health harm. This manipulation of sound draws on both historical practices and modern understanding to exploit the natural resonance between sound and the human body. Ancient practices. Historically, sound has been utilized for both healing and harm. Ancient civilizations like the Greeks and Egyptians used musical intervals and scales thought to influence the soul and body in significant ways, attributing certain modes with the power to soothe or incite unrest. Sound has been used as a psychological weapon during war, with armies employing drums and other instruments to instill fear or disrupt the enemy's morals. Earnestly in the 20th century, with governments experimenting with these frequencies for riot control, crowd dispersion, and psychological warfare. Resonance and dissonance. The human body naturally resonates with certain frequencies. While harmonious frequencies can heal, dissonant ones, particularly those at the lower end of the spectrum, can induce stress, anxiety, and physical discomfort. Brainwave entrainment. This phenomenon involves aligning brain frequencies with external sound rhythms, which can either disrupt or stabilize mental states and fuse, impairing cognitive functions. Psychological and physical effects. Manipulative use of sound can degrade mental resilience, leading to psychological and physical symptoms such as confusion, nausea, and fatigue, thereby enhancing the manipulator's control. Abusive utilization. In abusive environments, these frequencies can enforce submission, isolate victims, and play roles in ritualistic abuses, exploiting their capacity to unsettle and manipulate. Recovery involves therapeutic interventions like trauma-focused therapy, sound therapy using harmonious frequencies to restore balance, and rebuilding trust in one's perceptions and experiences.
Okay, so that video is in relation to what we're going to talk about next. That's going to be a series. It's the Venus in the Underworld anime. Not all my animes are going to be like that. That one in particular, Venus plays a Kuan Yin kind of role where she is watching human suffering and she's able to then speak about it and then convey messaging and kind of unlock the occult studies and teach the hidden. Okay, so with that, um, I literally used DID. I put a script that I made with Harmony GPT into it, and then I put music that I made with AI, text to music AI as the background music. And then I used an AI image from my Mid-Journey, my animes. So that was like a very, very well-rounded creation right there, but very informative, and want to be able to teach you guys all about that. Weird YouTube suggestions. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on that YouTube there. Okay, here we go. The only suggestion I liked was my suggestion. Alrighty, so understanding energy harnessing and soul tethering as exploitative tactics. So financial exploitation. Okay, 1 second here. So unfair contracts, and withholding of royalties. Okay, sorry about that. I have things in my screen that is actually my way of fully reading that. Okay, so energy harnessing, financial exploitation acts as a form of energy harnessing where artists' financial gains are siphoned for the benefit of others. Unfair contracts can drain artists' economic resources and energy, keeping them bound under controlling entities. Soul tethering. Artists may feel emotionally and creatively tied to agreements that exploit their work, limiting their freedom to explore new opportunities or gain full value from their creations. Okay. Creative manipulation, artistic control and suppression of identity, energy harnessing. By dictating an artist's creative output, the industry harnesses their creative energy and redirecting it to serve the commercial or aesthetic preferences of others rather than the artist's vision. Soul tethering, suppression of an artist's identity or forcing them into an inauthentic persona can create a deep psychic split, a tether to a false sense that undermines their true artistic expression and personal integrity. Emotional and psychological abuse. gaslighting and induced dependency. Energy harnessing. This abuse harnesses emotional energy by creating an environment of doubt and dependency. Gaslighting, in particular, drains the artist's energy by constantly challenging their reality and sowing self doubt. Soul tethering, inducing dependency, tethers the artist's sense of self worth and decision making to the abuser, often making them feel that they cannot succeed without the support or approval of their exploiter. Okay, sexual exploitation, quid pro quo, and coercion. Okay, energy harnessing. Sexual exploitation is an extreme form of energy harnessing where an individual's body and sexual agency are manipulated or taken against their will, often for the benefit or pleasure of another, draining the victim's physical and emotional energy. Soul tethering. Such experiences can leave deep emotional scars, tethering the victim's energy to traumatic memories and experiences that can hinder personal and professional growth. Okay, strategies for recognizing and combating energy harnessing and soul tethering. And this is a topic that I can delve deeper into if it is asked of it. Leave it in the comments below. Okay. We'll have a few more slides of this, but it's something that I'm going to gently go over, and then if you guys care for me to go deeper into it, I can go deeper into this. Okay, education and awareness. Understanding these concepts is the first step in recognizing when and how they might be occurring. Workshops and seminars can provide essential knowledge and shared experiences to help identify these tactics. Creating safe spaces, building environments where artists can express concerns and seek advice confidently is crucial. These spaces should support openness and provide resources for dealing with exploitation, legal and professional support. Encourage artists to seek independent legal advice when entering contracts and to consult with professionals about career decisions, especially when things feel off. Community and peer support. Strong networks can act as a buffer and provide collective protection against exploitative practices. Peers who understand these dynamics can offer support, advice, and way to validate experiences that might otherwise be gaslighted. And I think 100 percenters, them on Instagram, they're a really great tool. That's by Tiffany Red, very great tool. Um, there's other kind of people now getting into this field of healing for artists and reconstructing what we know as the music industry. Okay, so here we go. Let's get into this one. I'm going to read the top one and then I'll open this back up. Understanding astral impact and energy tethering in the music industry. Energy tethering through inflections. Concept overview. Energy tethering can occur when someone intentionally or unintentionally inflicts emotional, psychological, or spiritual harm. This creates an energetic link that can drain or manipulate an individual's energy. Hold on, let's open this back up now that I can see, I can see, I can see, I can see. I know that you guys can't see that I can't see, but I can see, I can't see. Okay. That can drain or manipulate an individual's energy from afar, impacting their well-being on multiple levels, including the astral plane. Astral influence. The astral plane refers to a level of existence that is beyond the physical, where consciousness can travel outside of the physical body. Negative interactions and relationships can create tethers on this plane, subtly influencing an individual's energy and emotional state without their conscious awareness. Recognizing signs of astral influence, emotional and creative drain. Individuals might feel unexplainably drained, blocked, or stifled in their creative processes without a clear physical cause. Recurring negative patterns, experience repeated barriers or setbacks in personal and professional life that align with the influence of those to harbor negative intentions or those whom they've had contentious interactions. Okay. Intrusive thoughts or dreams. Okay. Regular occurrences of intrusive thoughts or dreams about a particular person or situation that leave one feeling exhausted or upset. Or you could even feel pains throughout your body as well, or even a headache. Okay, strategies to detect and break free from astral tethers, spiritual awareness and intuition development, meditation and mindfulness, not the kind of meditation that you find on the Over channel or from Russell Simmons, y'all. Okay, not that kind of meditation, a deep rooted meditation that comes through practice and community. Okay. Mindfulness and meditation, mindfulness, regular practices that increase self awareness can help individuals sense when their energy is being compromised. Meditation can also strengthen the astral body, making it less susceptible to external influences. The energy from Morgan A. Smith and also some of the meditations that Jungle Flower has provided are really great resources. I'll leave some links below for you guys to access some of those things with them. Okay, intuitive development workshops. Engaging in workshops that focus on developing intuition can empower artists to trust their instincts about people and situations, helping them recognize and avoid energy draining encounters. Energy cleansing and protection techniques. Cleansing rituals. Regularly engaging in energy cleansing rituals such as smudging with sage, palo santo, or using crystals like black tourmaline and selenite can help clear unwanted energy ties. Protective visualizations, techniques like envisioning a white light shield or using grounding exercises can protect one's energy field from external influences. Seeking spiritual guidance. Spiritual counselors consulting with spiritual advisors who can provide insights and guidance on dealing with astral influences and energy tethers. Energy healing sessions, participating in Reiki, acupuncture, or other forms of energy healing to help release astral tethers and restore balance to one's energetic body. And a suggestion to artists recovering from these kind of situations or impact, and you feel like you're being held down from your experiences in the record industry, soul retrieval work is a really, really great method as well. Okay. Community and supportive networks, peer support, engaging with a community that understands and acknowledges these aspects can provide emotional and energetic support. Shared experiences can validate feelings and experiences, reducing isolation. Educational resources, providing access to books, lectures, and seminars about psychic self-defense, spiritual health, and energy management can equip individuals with knowledge and tools. So spread the information around, guys. Let people know. Some people don't even know what they're dealing with. This is some AI art. What makes me happy about this is it looks like my boo. It looks like my boo. Okay, hop in the fence. Okay, when I was a kid, I literally one time I was going in this area and I looked and there's a fence. And I looked behind the fence and I saw a waterfall, this beautiful magical place. And we were playing like manhunt, right? Everybody else was running and going all these places, and I went to that place and it was beautiful. It was amazing. It was very, very beautiful place. And I thought to myself, I'm like, how come nobody ever goes here, right? And it's just one hop over the fence, right? So look outside of where they tell you to look and go where no one has ever gone before. Nature has treats there. Okay. Direct licensing, okay? Empowering artists through direct licensing. Definition, direct licensing involves artists directly negotiating the use of their music with end users like TV shows, movies, or commercials. So something very funny. I had this one executive, he was more so interested in me rather than my music. And he was being extremely condescending and everything a few years back. I've spoken about this before. I don't know if I've spoken about in these workshops, but he was music supervisors, did the film scores for many TV shows, many films, and everything like that. And when I said to him that I wasn't okay with how he was speaking to me and the power dynamic of it, he blew up at me and he told me that I would never get any of my music on television, none of his shows would ever, you know, and very, very interesting, It was very interesting though, to be threatened like that. And a few weeks ago, I was talking to one of my friends, and I don't know why my mind thought this at this point in time, but I said, because they suggested a particular show, and I'm like, oh, I don't deal with that music supervisor. And he says, but you deal with the artist that is the writer and producer and everything of the show. And I said, yeah, I do. And he said, I do too. And nobody's going to stop us from going directly to the person that owns the show. So I want us to really kind of get certain things out of our head of limitations, okay? Some people just think they don't have the access, and you do have the access. You have the internet. You can text these people, you can email these people, you can reach out. You got LinkedIn, you got all these things. You can reach out to people on their team. You can reach other people on the show. You can reach other people in the project and the development. You do not have to use that one person. In labels and stuff, you deal with people where they're like, oh, well, if you hop over me to go here, you go over here, and you go over here, then you're hopping over him, and it's just disrespectful, and it's not respected in the industry because you hopped over somebody and you made that person lose an income, you know. But what am I supposed to do if I know the president? What am I supposed to do if I know the president? Okay, right. So, anyways. So, and what am I supposed to do if I get to know the president? I walk up to the president and the president really likes me. What am I supposed to do? Okay. So, advantages: higher royalties by bypassing traditional intermediaries such as performance rights organizations and music supervisors. Artists can potentially negotiate higher royalty rates, greater control. Artists maintain control over where and how their music is used, ensuring it aligns with their artistic vision and brand values. Strategic approach: direct relationships. Okay, build relationships with filmmakers, commercial producers, and media companies to explore direct licensing opportunities. Legal support: engage legal expertise to navigate contract negotiations and protect your interests effectively. Okay. Alrighty. So alternatives to music supervisors, artist to artist collaborations. So this is always really important. Stop thinking working up, work side by side. You can work up, but you can also work side by side. Your peers, your people, work with your people, work with the people in your classes, work with the people in your community, who is around you, what other creatives are there, what friends do you have that are so focused on their job, but they're not able to access their talents? And you see that in them, a little talent in them that should be shined, and you are the person that can help it shine through. Okay. So, leveraging personal connections in the industry can open doors to unique opportunities in film and media. Example: direct collaborations can foster more authentic creative expressions, and deeper integration of music and film narratives. Artists as music supervisors and composers. So if someone tries to block you from something, just remember you might get their job in the future. So that's just one thing to always keep in mind. So advice to the olders: watch out. And advice to the youngins: um, don't let people discourage you. Sometimes when people say things to you, it could be also out of jealousy because they see that you are more effective and you'd be more effective in their role. Okay. All right. So artists can expand their role to include music supervision or composing for films, offering a more tailored and personal touch to projects. Artists have the opportunity to expand their roles to include not just performing, but also overseeing musical direction and composing scores, enhancing the integration of music and film. Case study: Prince's creative control in film. Prince not only composed, but also starred in Purple Rain and Under the Cherry Moon. I love Under the Cherry Moon. Not a lot of people like it. I love it. It's corny, but I like it. I love the cinematography of it. His creative control over these films extended to writing the soundtracks and playing a pivotal role in the production and narrative development. His collaboration with Tim Burton on the Batman soundtrack further showcases his ability to dramatically shape a film's audiovisual experience. This underlines the potential for artists to exert significant influence over film projects, guiding the musical and cinematic narrative. Okay, you might not know a music supervisor to let you in, but you might know a director, you might know a writer, you might know somebody that is making a film, and you could become the music supervisor. So always keep that in mind, okay? Some more anime art from my works, okay? Understanding DSP, royalty models focus on Napster's competitive edge in royalty payments. Okay, everyone's like, oh my God, nobody uses Napster. Okay, let's just talk about it. Okay, because it is the highest paying one. Okay, high per stream payouts. Napster is recognized for offering the highest per stream rates among major DSPs such as Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. This is particularly beneficial for artists with a dedicated listener base where quality engagement triumphs over sheer volume. Subscription based revenue model. Unlike platforms that blend ad supported and subscription revenues, Napster's sole reliance on a subscription model supports its ability to pay higher royalties. This distinction is crucial for understanding how different revenue models impact artists' earnings. Strategic benefits for artists and producers. Okay, market positioning. Napster's choice to offer higher payouts despite a smaller user base invites discussions on strategic market positioning and how DSPs compete for user and artist loyalty. Encouraging diversification. Artists are advised to diversify their platform presence. Limiting distributors to the most popular platforms isn't always the most beneficial financially. Informed decision making. Understanding the operations of various platforms enables artists to make informed decisions about where to distribute their music, potentially leading to better negotiation outcomes and focused promotional efforts. Okay, Title even pays a lot too. So guys, I don't all the way support Title. I have my own personal things going on with it, but they pay way more than Spotify and Apple Music. And Spotify, y'all don't even pay. Okay, Spotify messaged me the other day on a post I wrote on and said that they pay artists. Y'all don't even pay artists. Okay? DSPs such as Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music play a significant role in the current music ecosystem. They typically use a pro rata model of payment. Pro rata model, this model pools all the subscription fees and divides them according to the share of total streams that each artist receives. This model can sometimes disadvantage niche artists and independent labels whose listeners may have more dedicated listening patterns but fewer overall plays. Okay. So I'm not going to go into this particularly because you guys would be able to come into the presentation and view this, but this is the DSPs and what royalties they pay or are supposed to pay. But this is typically what they are actually supposed to pay according to ChatGPT, Harmony GPT in 2024. Okay. This will be an article, yep, of Spotify found another way to pay artists, songwriters less, okay? So this article, it will be available. I'll also put in a link below, the caption below. And this literally just came out a few days ago. David Israelite has been really pushing his campaign of stating like, look what Spotify is doing. They are not paying our artists, they're not paying songwriters. There are huge issues. This is not what we agreed on in the Music Modernization Act, okay? So I encourage you guys to check that out. I'm not just saying things just to say it. And to kind of move this along, here are historical challenges that we face with royalty payments, okay? So these are things like, we are trying hard to fix it, but there are a lot of inconsistencies in royalty laws, variable ad revenues, user-centric payment models, implementation of the Music Modernization Act. There is a lot of things that we can do to start changing these things around a bit, okay? And you can find this all in the presentation. Some more of my anime are, okay? US royalties and neighboring rights, okay? Understanding the US landscape, neighboring rights to the US differs from countries like Canada and most of Europe, as it does not recognize neighboring rights for sound recordings on terrestrial radio, so that is traditional radio. Impact and record producers do not receive, performers and record producers do not receive royalties for their music played on traditional radio broadcasts. digital and satellite royalties compensations. Artists do earn royalties from digital platforms and satellite broadcasts. Significance. This shift highlights the growing importance of digital and satellite services in today's music revenue streams. But again, like I always say, lobbying, 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 and really holding your people accountable so you guys can make some effective change in the United States. Again, I have a list. This will be our glossary of today. And this is the royalties that an American artist and rights holders can access. Okay. Right. Moving along. Okay. So this is songwriter royalties. Okay. And one of the things that I want to kind of like talk about, and I'm not going to jump too much into it, but one thing that I want to keep encouraging and I keep explaining to people, I know you guys tell me about the Lil Waynes, the Jay-Z's, these people, you say it in the interviews, people always say, I don't write my music, I'm a freestyle, it's hip hop, da da da. Write your music down because sheet music, okay, that royalty is only right now being accessed by musical composers that are in classical music realm when we could access this. Okay, we could access this, and it would literally just take you actually owning the rights to your music, being the composer or working with your producer for your music, and creating a book with that sheet music or your lyric. You can make money from it. Okay, make some money from it. There we go. Yeah, sorry, I'm having a lot of technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on. But so we have Techno Fancy. The first edition just got posted onto YouTube. You guys will be able to find that. You guys will be able to access that here in the presentation as well. I'm not going to have a cohesive schedule for it, but we will be posting it as well. And wrapping up, next week we will get into registration and more. The next few slides are the glossaries and what's upcoming. So I'm just gonna literally gloss through it. And knowing if you are looking for these terms, they were in the last presentation, but I made them available in this presentation so you don't have to bounce between presentations in order to find things. And also, as a heads up, me and Vanessa M are going to be doing our workshop next month, but we're also going to be starting our podcast show, whatever. I don't really want to call it podcast because I'm not really into podcasts, but it's our show. So very excited. Here's some of the art that we picked for it and I made it for it. Okay, so Harmony every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So we have creation stories on Thursdays. Okay, and we have record producing B2B on Mondays. That is today's workshop. And then we have artists finding financial freedom entries on Tuesdays, and that's tomorrow's workshop. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, some resources, some quotes for support in ending digital suppression. I know a lot of people are facing digital suppression right now, speaking out against the genocide. And a lot of times it's really, really difficult to be able to navigate digital suppression. So I'm leaving a little bit of information in it for you guys, okay, about it here, as well as some other stuff that I've made in regards to, just today's climate. So free Palestine, free Sudan, free Congo, free Yemen, set the Americas to the Philippines, to Palestine free, okay? And here is my website, okay? Misko Mikizi Indiku Amethyst Amaris Indigenous Cause, okay? And as always, Chi Mikwich, thank you so much for being part of this. Thank you everybody for coming and being a part of this. Very, very excited to just be getting this messaging out and being able to get this discussion out there. These are some pretty heavy topics on certain aspects, and then some things are very enlightening topics. I try to be as holistic as possible, but I really wanted to talk about this today because I know a lot of people who are currently signed to labels, currently work with labels, and people who have been currently suffering from the musical chairs syndrome that we know all too well of. So I wanted to be able to provide discussion for that as well, and also kind of give language to some of our experiences that we might not fully know what we're experiencing because we're so entrenched in the waves of it. So like always, Chimikwech, thank you so much for coming out, and thank you for being here. If this video found you at all, it found you for a reason. Okay. All right. Have a great day.